David, Yannola, good morning. Good to see you here in London.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, first of all?
I'm fine. Very good.
Excellent.
Very good. It's always good to be back in England, and it reminds me a lot of things. And by the way, I like your outfit.
Thank you so much. Yours is not bad as well. My daughter chose it in the morning. She said to me, I need to go.
Oh, she has good taste. She has good taste.
Thank you so
You
much.
were sure, it's 100% sure about.
I'll give her the full credit. If I get something wrong, it's me. If I get...
Yeah, daughters are always right anyway.
Oh, she's going to like this part. You mentioned about your England connection as well, and before the interview you told me you played for different clubs, that Newcastle and Spurs were the one that you felt the strongest connection, please. So let's start with Newcastle United. I was at Wembley a few weeks ago when they won their first trophy after so long. How did it feel for you, as someone who played for the club, someone who loves this football club for so long, to watch Newcastle United win their first trophy, domestic trophy, after a long 70 years?
Well, I felt I was amazed by that, because I really think that the fans they really deserve that. For so many years they've been waiting and waiting for that chance, and finally they succeed. So it is a club that needs rewards, and it came finally at Wembley, and I was really pleased.
ההמתנה תמה לה. ניוקאסל מחזיקה את גביע הליגה לשנת 2025, תואר ראשון באנגליה מאז 1955.
I remember when they lifted the trophy and I saw generations, four generations of great grandma and young children in the stand emotional. That was incredible scenes. If you look in general, obviously there was a big change of management in Newcastle, the ownership 3.5 years ago. They qualified to the Champions League. Now they finally win a trophy. But it feels that the team should have been in a more advanced position now, maybe competing for the title. How do you see it?
Well, when I left Newcastle United, I really thought that the club will be on the path to become one of the greatest in the country. It didn't happen for many reasons. First of all, stability, chairman, managers. You need to have a sort of stability, on the long term if you want to be successful. And I hope that the new investors at the club they understood what it is to invest in Newcastle, in Jordiland.
That connection with the fans.
Yeah,
unique.
this is something really special in this country, and I wish the best for the club for the next years, because they really deserve it.
Oh, slip. Great pressure again by Harvey Barnes. It was Mazraoui who slipped. Barnes is in! Newcastle United hit the target again!
We know outside St. James's Park there is a famous statue of Sir Bobby Robson, famous statue of Alan Shearer. Who do you think is going to be next statue? Eddie Howe, Dan Burn, maybe Alexander Isak?
Well, to achieve what Sir Bobby Robson and Alan Shearer achieved, for the club and in football, I think we need to wait more years, to come for the people you mentioned, Isaac or Dan Burn or Eddie Howe, to become one of the person who deserve a statue at St. James Park.
Yeah. Dan Burn is a great story. He worked in a supermarket many
Yeah.
years ago, played semi-professional football as well.
Yeah, that's the nicest thing about that game, because those days, if you think about the players, they always have the same path towards success. And then you have players like Dan Burn who have a different story.
Yeah.
And it gives a little bit of fresh air in these sort of environments of football right now.
And we've even got Alba coming forward now. Oh! Oh! What about that?
Let's talk about your Newcastle United, the entertainers. I remember myself as a youngster in Israel watching this team. It was great watching it. How special was that feeling, being part of the entertainers when you played for Newcastle United?
It was the kind of freedom when you play football you need to express yourself and give your best. And I think what Kevin Keegan achieved at the time is in the like of Les Ferdinand or Peter Beardsley, Faustino Asprilla, myself, Alan Shearer the following season, we had this sort of freedom to express our football within a tactical program. But I remember Keegan saying to me, you know, David, why I assign you is to do that. Taking the ball, going at players, assisting goals, scoring goals, and John Beresford is going to defend for you. So
he let you express yourself.
That was amazing. In training every day, in the game on a Saturday, it was like a pure joy to take the ball at St. James Park on the wing and to get our players and actually doing what you're good at.
You mentioned Kevin Keegan's name. We remember that famous quote that Kevin season when you're battling with Man United.
Honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
He didn't say it quite like that.
What's the exact quote?
I fucking love it. I love it. With a bit of accent.
You're trying to do a Geordie accent as well. That's good.
Well, this is and we were very surprised because I remember we were in a dressing room and we could hear him.
Oh, okay.
Shouting and I think it was probably the first time we hear Kevin Keegan shouting and being so frustrating.
Because there was a rivalry, wasn't it, with Man United, with Sir Alex? You wanted to beat them.
Yes. It was frustrated because at the time he didn't understand a few things that was happening around, the fact that Newcastle United was playing great football, entertaining people, and, it's, well, at the end of the day, it was really a shame not to win that title.
And I want to talk to you about that. You were top of the league, massive confidence and massive gap as well.
Yeah.
At which stage you realized we are in trouble here, and at which stage you realized, you know what, the title is gone for us?
We never set out to ourselves that the title was gone until 2-3 games from the end. But Liverpool game, we lost 4-3.
Ross just wouldn't sit up for him. But here was Collymore! An amazing finish! And Keegan just cannot take it in.
And the Man United at home, 1-0, we lost.
Still Andy Cole. And it comes for Cantona! Manchester United have struck. 6 minutes into the second half.
I think that game against Man United, we realized that they were a strong side, and we could face some trouble towards the end. And because we lost at home, and at home we protected our home games. Every time we were scoring a lot of goals at St. James Park, and during that game, we been frustrated not to be up and to score and being as fun as we were before. So, we started to realize that after having 12 points clear ahead, we start to drop, and but not thinking that we will end up 3 points behind.
And during this challenging period, when you're losing momentum, who's in the dressing room trying to lead the team, trying to encourage, you know what, we can still win the league? Who was the main character that trying to get everyone together and install the belief and faith?
There were a few. David Batty, maybe. Peter Beardsley. All the Geordies. Steve Watson, Lee Clark. Yeah. So, it was like a proper frustration, because when you end up the season, you go back home. I remember I was in France, and everyone telling me, "Oh, you were so close, you were so close," and you realize, well, we were close, but at one point, we were 12 points ahead. So how the hell could we lose so many points? With the games, I don't know how many games it was left to play, but it was 2 seasons. The first part was great. I mean, nothing could happen badly, and all of a sudden you realize, well, you're not invincible. You could lose games also. And to put this in our mind was probably the fact that we started, in terms of confidence, to lose that sort of confidence we had previously.
One chop. And Shearer battling as hard as anyone. Shearer lets fly. Oh, it's there! Shearer scores. Holt caught out by that one.
We mentioned Alan Shearer's name, one of the greatest players ever in this country.
Yes.
And I want to do a bit of a game with you. We're going to compare Alan Shearer to players that you played with, you played against, you played with, you never played before. Some great European strikers, never played in the Premier League, some of them. And you decide from your perspective, who would you choose to lead the team to win the Premier League? Alan Shearer or that candidate, or that striker? So, Alan Shearer or Jürgen Klinsmann?
Ooh, wow. Not the same. Alan Shearer is a striker. Klinsmann is more like a forward. He can play anywhere up front. So I stay with Alan Shearer.
Shearer or Jean-Pierre Papin?
That's tough. No, Alan Shearer.
Shearer or Cantona?
Wow. Wow.
It's not going to get easier.
I only play with Eric in the French team, so... But Shearer is scoring 30, 40 goals per season, so I go for Shearer.
Shearer or Ian Wright?
I can score goals this one as well, so I stick with Shearer.
Shearer or Stoichkov?
Or Shearer.
Shearer or Raúl?
Raúl was good in Madrid, so Shearer.
The Brazilian Ronaldo or Shearer to win the Premier League?
R9.
He was special, huh?
R9 is probably one of the best players I ever played that game. So, with all the respect I have for Alan Shearer, in terms of pure quality players, I mean, R9 is a reference for many of us.
You score plenty of lovely goals. I want to show you one goal that for me represents maybe David Ginnola at his best more than everything. So you watch the goal, I mean, several times at Spurs, I can imagine. I want to show that goal, do a play-by-play and talk me through.
With a different angle or the same?
Let's see, you decide. Right, so this is the goal, okay?
Okay.
If you hold this one, and the stage is yours.
Okay.
So what's happening there?
First touch, great. You just pass the player with the first touch, and then you do your running, and you pass the players like you play on PlayStation.
Ah, okay.
And like, I would love to do that again. I would love to do that again.
You mentioned PlayStation. That how, you're watching it now in the studio. When you're making this move, does it feel like PlayStation? Easy to take the players in and out like cones?
It's like, it is, I think, the momentum from the first touch. Because, and you have to realize that the game was near. It was towards the end of the game. It wasn't an easy game. Tough pitch, tough team, tough ground. And we need to win to pass and go through. So I saw the face of the players, and the players, they were looking at me and say, "Come on, David, we need you, we need you, we need you." And I felt the pressure, not from the manager. That was Christian Gross. It was like the players themselves were telling me almost, "Come on." So who drives me that way was probably the responsibility I had at the time, and I knew what I could do. But that run was like, you are dictated, or the maneuver is from somewhere else. So you go through, and it's just like the perfect move, and you realize what you've done when the ball hit the back of the net.
Let's talk about another club you play for, Everton. And this is I want to show you a clip. Your first training session at Everton, and this is your welcome. This is the welcome you get if you press play. The first training session at Everton.
This is great, lad. My God.
Gaza. How does it feel when Gaza is showing up to training with that wig?
This is the kind of stuff you don't have anymore in football.
You miss it?
I miss the fact that you can joke, you can laugh. It doesn't happen anymore. So, but just having Gaza in the dressing room with you was a pure joy.
How was it playing with him as well? He was a genius.
Playing, we were towards the end of our career, so it wasn't relevant. The fact we started actually quite in the same at the same time, because we played the final of the tournament in Toulon, the under 21. He was playing for England, and I was playing for France, and we played in the final, and we beat them 4-3. And I remember Gaza in the dressing room, in the dugout, we just coming out, and he was there, and he was already known as a player. And I just started my career, and we were just literally together like that. And I reminds him that at Everton in the dressing room, and he said, "Do you remember when you were?" I do remember what you'd done on the pitch. And he said to me, "I realized what a player you were." And I said, "Well, but you know, when you have a guy like that in a dressing room, capable of having stories like funny ones every day, it's I love him."
You mentioned France. Let's talk about the French connection. You had great moments in your career. I want to talk you through maybe one of the lowest. October '93, Israel-France in Parc de France. So we managed to beat you 3-2. Before we even talk about that game, obviously a few months before you came to Israel and you beat us comfortably. The feeling was about not even if we're going to beat Israel, it's about how comfortably we're going to beat you. Because in Israel a few months before you beat us 4-0, so you thought yourself, it's going to be another easy game?
As a player, you never said to yourself, it's going to be an easy game. It's a football game, and you know that anything can happen. I remember a few years ago, Paris beating Barcelona 4-0, and they lost 6-1 in Barcelona. So the La Remontada, it was like, wow, I was amazed. So beating Israel 4-0 in Tel Aviv didn't mean that we gonna beat them 4-0 at home. But we were up in the game, 2-1, and we lost 3-2. And I think we made mistakes. I had a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I assisted the first one. I scored a pretty nice one.
ינולה, מול פליקס חלפון. מנסה בעיטה, וזה ברשת! איזה שער אדיר של ינולה! 2-1 לצרפת.
And I was taking off the pitch, 20 minutes to go, and I saw from the bench my team, you know, being beaten by Israel. One goal and another one.
איזה יופי, ורוני חופשי, ורונן חרזי מסמן לו, ותראו את הפריצה הזו של רוזנטל, עדיין רוזנטל מוציא את הכדור, הוא בלטרק, יש! שער! 3-2 ניצחון! מאיר תרגע!
I felt really, really bad because everyone was expecting me to have the kind of performance I had with Paris Saint-Germain within the French team, the national team, and it happened that night. But I was taken off the pitch, so I didn't understand really because, you know, at 2-1, you can make changes, but because you are strong collectively, you don't expect the manager to make changes. You carry on. You could have scored another goal or another two, and been qualified for the World Cup in America. So, you know, it was frustrating to be sitting and say, well, okay, we lost. Okay, now we have to do it again. But, you know, I remember the face of the Israeli players coming towards me at the end, and players like Ronnie or
Berkovic, if you remember.
Berkovic, yeah. They were amazed. They couldn't believe themselves. And all the Jewish community in Paris, there's a lot. They were present at the game that night. They couldn't believe. They couldn't believe that we lost that way. And the last 20 minutes, we completely lost the plot. And it was like, well, what happened? Do you know, like big interrogation mark? Question mark? I said, what what's going on.
Enjoy the rest of the season. Thank you for your time. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you.
בוא שוב לנגן לי דוד, קח אותי לכוכבים. בוא שוב לנגן